5v5 ability. So I like that.
Have to see what they decide to ban now as we move further into the picks and bans here. Azir's going to be taken away, so lots of target bans out towards Cool.
I think this means that you have to look at either LeBlanc or the Victor. So you have a very clear-cut winner in the mid lane, although we have seen some adaptation there with picks like Vigar from Dade, as well as a couple of Vigars in the LCK.
But for now, teams both taking it rather slow here. Victor, it's going to be the respect ban coming out from OMG here. Wouldn't be surprised to see a LeBlanc ban coming out from Team WE, but...
And that's the thing. I don't necessarily think it's so much as a respect. Yes, it was a big problem, so I'm glad that it was an issue that was addressed. But it's more so this idea, Ryze and Azir all banned, might as well ban the Victor. Because you don't want it as your priority.
Yep. It's one of the supports that stands out the most here is Thresh. It's going to be banned out by TWE here. They don't want OMG to pick that one up, and immediately Xiang's going to be locking in Kindred.
That's a little bit questionable, just because I feel like Kindred would have been a very easy ban to throw down as opposed to the Thresh, but obviously they have something up their sleeve. Rek'Sai is still available for the jungle, so Condi does have options, and it looks like it's going to be that Maokai priority.
Maokai and Lucian going to be locked in here for Team W. We've seen a lot of teams on the blue side first pick Kindred, give up the Maokai, and then pick a counter pick to Maokai up at the top. They try and bully him out as much as possible. We'll have to see if OMG decides to do just that, but Lucian returning to the Rift with really strong AD carry.
With Thresh banned, I would like to see 5 go for a Janna. So Janna was the big counter to Maokai if you think all the way back to Season 4. Likewise, SMLZ plays a phenomenal Jhin. Jhin, Janna work very well together. It looks like he's going to go back towards that Bard. The idea is with Thresh not available there's not a lot of consistent hard damage or hard CC to get on top of a Janna and to immediately destroy her. She does well in lane swaps, she does well in standard lanes. She's easy to blind pick, but it is going to be that priority for a superior 2v2 of matching the Lucian and taking the Bard.
Then lock in the Echo as well, and immediately Xiang swaps his Summoner spells over to teleport and flash up into top lane. No more playful Trickster coming out from him. So we are going to see the Echo Maokai matchup up in the top lane, something we saw a lot during MSI.
Yeah. It's just standard Echo Maokai stuff. Maokai sits, he survives, becomes a flanking TP. Echo, if he snowballs ahead, he can look to split push, or he can be a flanking TP.
Becomes annoying.
One of them's more about backline dive, one of them's more about CC, but they can do both.
We'll have to see what Team W responds with here. Sia's actually going to lock in Twisted Fate. Picking that one up in the mid lane, and Zero is going to be taking Braum as his support.
I like the Twisted Fate, not only because we have a lot of S-tier mid laners hitting the bench, Azir, Ryze, and Victor all in your ban category, but more importantly, denying that away from Cool.
Which means...
Ahri?
Could possibly be.
Ooh,
it also means that Team W leaving their jungle pick for last here. Lily was banned out. We see the Kindred locked in. Could possibly be a Rek'Sai or maybe a Graves coming in here.
But it is Lissandra that's actually picked up for Cool right there, so not going towards his signature pick, but still getting a lot of kill pressure and lockdown as well as wave clear against the likes of Twisted Fate. I really like Lissandra. I don't think she's necessarily in the S-tier mid-group for 6.10, but her itemization got a lot of CDR on it. It's still a very cost-efficient build. She's got flexibility there. Good wave clear, the ability to run double teleport safely, offers junglers kill pressure just because they can kill the enemy mid laner in the duration of the Frozen Tomb. So I think she's in a relatively like A-tier good spot.
Forced Sia to pick the cleanse up as well on his Twisted Fate. It's the Summoner spell of choice going in against Cool's Lissandra. So waiting to see what the jungler for Team W will be picked up as during picks and bans here. So far, they're hovering over Rek'Sai. Would not be surprised if Condi decides to go for this pick. He played a lot of that during Spring Split, I believe.
Yep. Big Rek'Sai player. Obviously, everyone is, whoever plays in professional play. Big thing, though, is that look at that back line as well as that tanky front line with the Cinderhulk, Rek'Sai, and the Maokai. They don't have a lot of sustained damage because Lucian's going to be more of an AD caster style of ADC, and Twisted Fate's kind of a poke-based champion. Unless he gets super fed, and then he can immediately delete people. So curious how Team W are going to play around their team fights.
I actually completely missed the Jhin coming in for OMG's lineup. So it's going to be Jhin Bard down in the bottom lane. A very oppressive lane for Team OMG up against the Lucian Braum.
Which is why you see the... Actually, you know, he picked Jhin into Braum. But that makes sense because SMLZ's signature pick is his Jhin. It's actually just always a joy to watch. He plays it very well.
Well, just to round up the team comps one more time. Echo, Kindred, Lissandra. with Jin and Bard in the bottom lane, and Maokai, Rek'Sai, Twisted Fate with Lucian and Braum in their bottom lane here. OMG and TW this time really looks like they want a 5-on-5 fight.
And it's more important that Cool is the guy stepping up and saying, okay, I'm going to determine when we fight. It's no longer up to Xiong. It's no longer up to World 6. I'm the veteran player of the team. Give me the Lissandra. We fight now.
Well, let's see if they can do just that as we head into Game 2 of this best-of-3 series between Team WE and OMG. Cool still looking as cool as ever as he head on to Summoner's Rift for the second match of the final best-of-3 for tonight. He's going to have to see if his Lissandra can pull one more back for his team.
You had the opportunity to make a pun like, hopefully his Lissandra stays cool, and you failed it. But I don't think he's trying to be cool there.
Freak would be disappointed in me.
I'm disappointed in you.
I can tell. You're always disappointed in me, though.
You make me out to be such a mean person, and I'm just like so nice to you all the time.
Sit next to you.
Yeah, and you play Gnar.
I play Gnar. It's a good champion. I've got 100% win rate on him. Pretty good.
Yeah, my first game with Fish as he's playing Gnar. Which buttons jump? I don't know, you've got 4 of them.
It's W, right? Well, we're going to take a look at the Keystone Masteries really quickly. There's nothing too surprising coming out from these two teams. Pretty standard Masteries coming out from everybody. So take a look at the fan vote as well. Lots of people think that Team WE are going to be the ones that pick up this game. I don't blame them.
Well, they've got the advantage as the first game went in their favor. More importantly, they had the deeper playoff run last split. It was OMG who actually had to go through the promotion tournament, although got confidently out of that.
Yep.
Having a giggle in the bot lane. It's cute.
Bard is an amazing champion.
This time around, though, no lane swap. It is going to be standard lane. So Jin and Bard versus Lucian and Braum. See who's going to execute this one better, because there's a lot of kill pressure either way. 5
and SMLZ also opting to take the camp at level 1 instead of trying to disrupt Lucian and Braum from taking theirs.
And of course, Krepa would be disappointed. His mentality is that Bard's level 1 is one of the strongest in the game, so you should always invade to try to keep everyone at level 1 and make the most out of that power spike, rather than trade camp for camp.
This also means both the junglers will be starting on the top side of the map. So Condi will be taking the blue buff first, whereas Condi will be taking the red buff first, whereas Kindred will be taking his blue buff on the top side of the map. Moving down towards the bottom side, we will see Cool CF duke it out in the mid lane. Xiao will be taking on 957 up in the top lane. No cheeky lane swaps coming in anymore from these two teams.
Oh yeah, all eyes are going to be on the bottom lane, especially as the junglers will be playing over there. But cheeky level 2 from everyone. No one's going to go ahead and pull the trigger on an early all-in engage and back up.
Condi now working on trying to take down his red buff. On the flip side of things, Rek'Sai yet to move on towards his second buff of the game here.
It's more important that he takes control of the Scuttle Crab, simply because his lane is starting to push forward.
Unfortunately for him, not the Scuttle Crab that's going to be marked up by Kindred.
Oh, here we go.
He's looking, has the Tremor Sense, sees
now
Condi.
He knows.
Condi also getting spotted out now.
So we talked about how all of the aggression was going to be on the bottom side between these two junglers. We actually even have 5 pulling off early.
Trying to help him out.
Tension fizzled out.
Both junglers paying a lot of respect to one another here. Let's see how 957 up at the top lane, duke it out. Echo is just going to be a little bit more annoying than the Maokai earlier on in this game.
This is so ballsy from World 6.
He's spotted out. They know that he's here. But
they know that he's there. It's because in the mid lane, Cool has Xie locked down and is following him now.
He's still trying to go for it.
Like, Xie has to go the long way around the banana brush to get into position here.
Mm-hmm.
So World 6 thinking that he had the space there because of his mid laner, but deciding against it. So good response from everyone on the map right there.
Good wave control coming out from Cool, able to help him out with that one. So we'll take a look back down towards the bottom lane. Nothing too fancy taking place here already, though.
There's a big CS difference between SMLZ and Mystic.
Yep.
Obviously, the big thing about Jhin is, yes, he's very fragile to all ends, but it's this idea... I thought for some reason that was going down into the bot lane. It's this idea that the only way to beat Jhin is to make sure that a trade lasts longer than 4 hits, so he doesn't just get to trade his crit on you and end it.
Cheeky Sapley coming up from 957 as well. Stops Seung's back, so... He has the advantage in his lane for now. Let's see if Sion can get it back in and teleport back to the lane soon. May lose some creeps to this tower. Go back down towards the bottom lane. We see the oppressiveness of this Jhin and the Bard here. Well, very quiet this game here. No lane swaps, so we don't see any towers falling down early. No ganks coming in. You know, we saw Kindred try to take away their blue buff, but nothing much else has happened so far.
Yep, and like you said, both TPs have now been traded. So not letting that advantage go on for much longer. Big thing is this mid lane constantly, though. The fact that Cool is beating Xie out of lane and trying to create space for World 6. Unfortunately, just continuing to fizzle out. So we'll see if maybe him posturing so aggressively has cost him some experience.
Kindred now is going to be able to take away the Scuttle Crab there, so we'll be able to pick up the mark for himself. Sia trying to go back home. Does get interrupted by the Claw coming out from Cool. And nobody's really gone back to base except for the top laner so far. Good stun. Comes out from 5. He's got all his healing pods set up. No more hot cocoa, which I'm used to seeing now. Yeah, still very, very quiet between these two teams. And no one ready to pull the trigger just yet. Connie in this mid lane, though, might try to start a gank here against Cool. Puts down the Prayer Seeker. Here comes the Claw coming out. Cool is able to get away there, but relieves a little bit of pressure away from this Twist of Fate.
Yeah, the only place that action is really happening on the map right now, like you said, is in this mid lane. Although, see if the junglers get involved with bottom as Condi's actually making his way down there. Good response and communication from 5, though. So Cool, you know, Rek'Sai heading down to bottom side, immediately walks up into try and places a ward.
For now, though, only top lane is head back to base. So 2 Doran's rings on the Maokai. We just see Echo as well picking up his null magic mantle as well as the ring to go with his corrupting potion, but other than that, no major items coming out. Junglers picked up their jungle items as well.
Important to note that the Destiny is now available for Xie.
Yep. He's got no mana at the moment, so he's going to have to go back to base if he wants to use that. Has a cleanse as well, so can't match the teleport, so to speak, coming out from Cool. Has to use the Destiny.
But that's the important thing here is the fact that we know that the initial back is coming in from Twisted Fate, so he does have a window where he can look to make a play on the map. It is going to be the Lucidity Boots first pickup, so really trying to make the most of that Destiny cooldown and get involved. Starting to head bottom. Nope, gonna go ahead and go back mid.
Got a Negatron Cloak as well, so gonna reduce some of the damage that Cool will be able to dish out in this mid lane. He's actually gone and picked up a Catalyst, so he's gonna be working towards his Rod of Ages as soon as possible.
And still quiet on the Western Front.
It's very quiet between these two teams. Nobody willing to pull the trigger just yet. 11,000 gold each, 7 minutes, 30 seconds in the game. No turrets, no dragons taken either. We saw the first dragon available is the Ocean Dragon, so it might, you know, decrease the priority that these two teams have over taking that one down.
Big fan of Ocean Drake.
So is Spawn.
Yep. I understand his reasoning.
957 just cheekily gets out of that parallel convergence. It's Condi now making his way towards the top side. Here comes the Destiny as well. They're going to try and take down the Echo. Stun card comes out. Flash from Sia as well. A nice knocker coming in from the Rex side too. Sia, he's going to get taken down. First blood goes over towards Sia.
Yeah, and too little too late for Cool on the return teleport right there. Will manage to pick up some CS as well as a tunnel for his troubles. But otherwise, commanding lead for Team WE.
Essentially using the Destiny wisely, and now with the Iron Boots of Lucidity as well. They'll be back up quite shortly too.
And the fact that Xie was actually able to get out of that lane without any sort of communication from OMG is a big concern there. Cool was doing such a great job keeping him locked down, so good job on Xie.
Take a look back down towards this bottom lane one more time here. Mystic still slightly behind in CS, but nothing to be worried about at the moment. You expect Jhin to come out a little bit ahead during the laning phase. Being able to be a little bit more aggressive down here, though.
It's relatively difficult, actually, to farm sometimes on Jhin if you have to consider trading your crit for a cannon or a trade.
The gold has swung quite significantly, though, in TWE's favour. It's completely even. Now they've got 1,000 gold lead for themselves, which is not bad to have just 9 minutes into the game.
Big thing is the fact that the First Blood went over to Xie, so seeing the change up in his itemization, having the Phoenix Codex.
Yep.
So even more power for him. With that Lucidity Boots, his destiny is about halfway through. See where he's going to go next with it.
See if he's going to be able to continue helping TW impact the map. It seems like TW, they've come into both games here with a plan. First game, swap the map around, try and open up, delay it a little bit, find the team fight we're looking for. This time around, use Sierra as that pivot point, try and teleport to parts of the map, create plays here and there. They've already started step 1 of their second tactic here. See if they can continue doing that with him.
Likewise, OMG have changed it up. We talked about how we wanted them to go towards more of a 5v5 based composition. They've certainly done that this time around. Although without 5 in the lane, SMLZ being very respectful of Mystic and Zero.
Yep.
But you have really nice bridging power points out of OMG's composition. So Lissandra peaks relatively early. She's not going to be the extreme late game damage that the likes of Victor and Azir will bring. But she has a good mid game power spike as well as offers carry junglers a lot of kill threat there. Kindred's going to scale very well into late game. Jhin, of course, phenomenal in the late game with his crit passive. So they have options. They have good bridging points.
See if they can use those bridging points effectively, though, in this game here. Claw's actually being put out there. Cool. Looked like he wanted to be a little bit aggressive towards Sia there. Not opting to pull the trigger, though.
His jungler wasn't in position, but with so much aggression on the mid and bot lane, so taking advantage over Team WE's backs, it will be a free dragon for OMG.
World 6 should be able to pick this one up. If he is the magical journey, we'll get them out to safety as well. Opting not even to use Smite here, so easy picker coming in for Team OMG.
And it will be a Cloud Dragon next. Again, we talk about how the Ocean Drake is just nice, especially in these early games, because the region effectively gives your support and your jungler the ability to have 100% uptime. With that time, opening up more space for ganks, roams, and placing vision.
Especially when you have games as quiet as this one, means that not much fighting taking place, more time for the Ocean Drake to use and be effective here. Cloud Drake will be the next dragon here, one of the dragons that a lot of teams don't like to really contest for. They don't really like picking it up. Would much prefer a Mountain or an Inferno, even an Ocean Drake. But we have to see if OMG continue their trend with picking up dragons here, or if TWE can take the wheel at any point in time.
I just think Cloud Drake takes a bit more time to ramp up into being really useful. It's still relatively cost efficient for stats that it's giving you. Obviously, you get a lot out of it if you have all 3 as well as Swifties.
If I'm not mistaken, all 3 Cloud Drakes gives you the
45.
same movement speed upgrade as Tier 2 boots that are not Swifties or mobility.
It's second. Cloud Drake will give you that one.
Oh, wow.
But if you have Swifties and all 3, then you get mobility boots effectively. It's 105 to 115.
That is pretty sweet.
Yep. But the problem is you need 3 Cloud Drakes before you're like, yeah, man, this is sweet. Whereas if I'm sitting on like 2 Ocean Drakes, I'm like, damn, I feel it.
We'll sit on 3 mountains. Take Baron at 20 minutes.
Jungler takes a camp, stands out of combat for I think it's like 8 seconds, and he's just like, do, especially if he's red buff. There was a Pokemon sound there.
That was a Pokemon sound? I know Richard Chow sitting in production, you're just shaking his head right now.
That was it, right?
Close.
Okay.
For now, Team WE, Condi waiting inside the brushes behind Fog of War as well. Siang's already... He knows this has happened before. It's happened to him once, now he's going to stand up one more time with the Maokai, but just trading back and forth for now.
Maokai's, hello? Rek'Sai, please respond.
I started the fight. Do something, please. Hello.
Yeah, but choosing not to pull the trigger right there. Teleport is available for the mid lane, so possibly being cautious there. Yes. Or Xiong not committing as hard as they would have liked.
Destiny is up and available though. Sia needs to make use of that if he likes. So he's already gone back to base, picked up the Abyssal Scepter for himself. Meanwhile, we see the Youmuu's Ghostblade being picked up by the Lucian. It looks like Essence Reaver is going to be the first item for SMLZ. With Rod of Ages already completed on the Slandra.
I'm not actually a big fan of Essence Reaver first on Jhin versus the Infinity Edge, just because of how the... Oh, hold on, though.
5, gonna get locked down here. Is able to take the magical journey to safety, though.
Just because of how much more the Infinity Edge passive means for Jin's passive in terms of his damage output.
Yep.
Although I will say that by going Essence Reaver first, you open up more slots for just kind of flat AD damage. Which if you want to go into sieging, like I actually think that Essence Reaver on Jhin first as opposed to Infinity Edge when you're in a lane swap is superior. Just because, again, you get more slots for flat damage for taking down towers a little bit faster. Or a little bit earlier in the game. Can't crit a tower.
Said no Infinity Edge here means a little bit less damage to champions, a little bit more cooldown reduction once he gets his Zeal item up.
Bit more safety than...
Meanwhile, we just see the Lucian. He's picking up the Yoru's Ghost Blade, probably going to the Black Cleaver build as well. So, it doesn't really have anyone really to shred for here. You could argue Condi does a little bit more extra physical damage. But still a very popular build on Lucian right now. Take a look at the top lane as well. Barmy's in picked up by the Echo. He's gone for the Spectre Skull as well. Maokai, on the other hand, he's got 2 rings, and that Spectre Skull probably going for a Spirit Passage first. Which would...
He's got the ring power. Just so quiet.
Yep,
no one just making a peep. They're just totally fine.
Going back into a very quiet game. We saw this game 1, but it was a lane swap. So, you know, towers were falling here and there. We saw them rotating around the map. But now game 2... just standard lanes, but nobody ready to pull the trigger.
I have a feeling that the trigger is about to be pulled, though. So Xie made his back, and he picked up a Sheen. Definitely has a lot of power on this Twisted Fate right now. Like you said, having that completed Abyssal. So, sitting pretty high and mighty. Dragon will be spawning in 1 minute and 14 seconds. So I have a sneaking suspicion that Team WE are about to pull off something so they can rotate quickly into that Cloud Drake.
They've got a minute to do just that, so we'll have to see if that's the objective they have in mind to pick up. We'll have to see how they execute it, but for now, it's 0-1, 1 kill over to Team WE so far. No turrets taken down just yet. A single dragon has gone over towards OMG, but Team WE, they're still the ones in the lead at the moment, about 1,500 gold in their favor.
OMG also being much more responsive than they have been proactive despite running the double TP. I understand picking up the TP against the likes of Twisted Fate so you can continually follow the Destiny. But obviously you have very different cooldowns on either of these abilities. So I would have liked to see Cool take a bit more advantage over his map presence as opposed to just kind of letting Xie dictate the pace of this game. Especially because he had the winning lane for a big portion of the lane phase, really threatening and bullying Xie around. But here we go, they're moving bottom.
Cool's still doing really well in this lane though. He's about 30 CS up ahead of the Seer at the moment, so good lead for himself.
Yeah, but if you continue to win your lane while the other guy is winning the map, does it really matter?
Top lane, relatively even. You know, you can see Rek'Sai farming up a little bit more than Kindred at the moment. Bottom lane, not much of a discrepancy at all as well.
There we go. Cool back to being a bully. Trying to threaten over the pink ward.
Condi just wants to kill the pink ward. Let him. He's got his Cinderhole picked up here with another giant spell. So lots of health onto this Rek'Sai. Even picked up a side stone, so contributing to vision a little bit more.
No reason for Team WE to push over this dragon. Again, it is just a Cloud Drake.
It doesn't look like they want it though. They've been trying to set up for it. Condi, you know, trying to be a little bit of a nuisance in the river.
As Spawn would say, free things are still free. So if you can get it for free, you might as well take it.
Well, they're trying to.
But they're not going to force it as heavily as they would unless they have the perfect engagement because Cool is very strong right now.
OMG not really letting them do that either. As we see 5, he's in the back of this pit here, trying to do the same thing he did last time. A fail hop over the wall though. Won't quite able to get over there in time. Means 5 tanks it up a little bit more, but TWE, they don't know this is happening just yet. Zero's going to be able to spot them out. Now they know that's happening. Cool. He's going to be inside of this pit as well, able to spot them out, or able to help them out. And that's another dragon going over towards OMG. They pick it up.
So Ocean and Cloud Drake now in their back pocket there.
Yep.
Third dragon. Taking the free objectives where they can. And again, it's really on the back of the fact that Cool has control in this mid lane.
So you're doing a pretty good job at that. Seer has not been able to use the Destiny since his first gank up into the top lane. And since then hasn't been able to upgrade his Sheen either.
I don't think I've ever seen Cool use his Frozen Tomb this game yet either.
Not once. He's been farming it up.
The classic 19 minutes sitting on Lissandra ult.
Curtain Call comes out for Jin just to clear out the wave. Not as dramatic as the ability is entitled to be. But yeah, still very quiet game between the two teams. We have lots of time to check in with the items for the players here. 957, he's gone back, picked up a Barmy Cinder after his Spirit Visage for himself. Take a look at Echo, he's got his Sunfire Cape and sitting on a Spectral Cowl for himself. Now Condi looking like he wants to... Sorry, not Condi, looking over at World 16, he wants to try and pick up his Zeal item next. After he's gone for the Blood Razor. Condi on the other side, he's gone for a Warner's Mail, so possibly going for a Randuin's Omen as his next pickup.
Condi has a level advantage as well as a massive CS advantage. And again, in the jungle, that means even more because those creeps are worth more.
He's getting really tanky in this game. Lots of health onto that champion, especially with the Side Stone, with the extra Giant's Belt to its name as well.
And it's starting to breed this confidence as Condi is invading and investing more and more time deeper and deeper into this jungle. We could have a bit of a skirmish. Nope, he's going to go ahead and pull the trigger on it. But you see Xie shadowing on top of him, looking for the Destiny. So Team WE are starting to find their confidence in this match.
Certainly are, but they're still, you know, opting not to pull the trigger just yet. They're still about 1,500 gold ahead of OMG, lacking dragons at the moment, but not too fussed about that, it feels.
This is like watching them play Ezreal. So Team WE have this habit. As I say this, though, we might actually get... Oh, TP! Yes, we got one!
They're going in for the fight here. OMG wants to be the ones to start this one off. Cool didn't opt to take the claw to go in there. In fact, all the damage went out to Braum. Now, WE looking to try and see if they can turn things around. Maokai's here as well. 957 trying to create a zoning distance. Pops his ultimate. Looking to try and see if he can get a twisted advance there, but they're just backing off for now. It's a 5-man showing up into the bottom lane, but nobody really wants to start a fight here.
Fight!
They're not going to.
Flash!
Do something. No, that's it. That's all they get. Just teleport there and, you know, say hi.
We had 2 teleports and no one died. They want this tower. They're like, we're not wasting the teleport. Something is falling.
His Destiny as well. Nobody wants to fight just yet, Frostcode. Calm down.
Press R!
But yeah.
Oh, what a world.
We're having an ARAM down on the bottom lane at the moment.
No, okay. Important people to watch. Maokai, Lissandra.
Okay. Curtain Call, though, is going to be popped out here. Gets one tag onto Twisted Fate. The door's been put up by Braum, so he's going to be able to block out a lot of the damage. 957 takes that crit shot to the face. So else he doesn't find what he was looking for, but still, W's slowly getting poked out here. Healing up wherever they possibly can.
We're actually having an extended ARAM in the spot lane.
Yep. This is interesting. I don't think I've seen this before in the LPL.
They're continuing to siege.
They're looking for the claw. Does come out here. 957 trying to take up as much damage as possible. They're still trying to siege this lane.
So what's happening is every time Cool has the Glacial Path up, Lissandra acts as an excellent sieging tool where she's going to throw it, and immediately you see that Team W have to respect, disengage off of it. So eventually OMG get down enough chip damage, safely play this one, and should pick up the objective. So overall, good job on OMG. They get the advantage. They get the lead.
Look to try and take down this turret as well. I believe the rest of the champions for the side of Team W moving back towards their respective lanes. Going to try and see what advantage they can take out of OMG being in the bottom lane for an extended amount of time. Well, yeah, still very quiet game. 2 turrets to none now in favor of OMG. One turret, sorry.
We have a 23-minute game, and Lissandra hasn't ulted anyone.
He's ice cold. Cool's not ready for this. At this point, he might as well melt. He hasn't used any of his freezing abilities yet.
I had to lean over and check to make sure you put a point in it.
Sia, you know, hasn't been able to use its cleanse either. Wasted summon as well. Might as well take an ignite. Burn people.
This is the strangest thing. Like, it goes back to this idea of, like, rebuilding. Because OMG were the tower diving team. Like, the classic... I don't want to use the word meme. But the joke of, like, the Chinese aggression. Oh, we have another TP.
Oh, here's some aggression coming in towards Mystic. Cool's
He's
coming in. There's the
ultimate.
ultimate. We see it finally. 23 minutes into the game. SMLZ blows someone up as well.
Okay, we got the TP play. They're now playing to their side lanes. Ping immediately goes onto the top tier tower. We've got action. We've got life.
We're back into the LPL. Don't worry. We didn't go anywhere. Well, we did for a bit, but we're back.
Meanwhile, in response, though, Team WE collapsed down onto this tower. With that empowered Lich Bane, blue card, Twisted Fate, it is going to shred. So TP is immediately punished, and we're now looking for a fight.
Let's see if the Destiny can do anything here. It's cool. He's been locked out. Good Temper Fate is going to stop the Destiny in his tracks. Here comes the Kindred as well. Pops down the Lancer Spy. Going to keep lots of WE members alive for longer, though. Zero now. He's going to be one that gets taken down. 957. He's trying to stay alive. Not going to be enough. OMG just turn on their team fighting capabilities and pick up 2 more kills.
Much better play this time around from Five's Bard right there. The Tempered Fate buying enough time for the rest of OMG to get in position and clean up that fight. It should be a counter push on the outer mid tower. So they do lose the objective, but picking it up on the back half is now Xie, caught behind enemy lines.
Still being chased here. With all that being picked up by OMG, they got 3 kills. They picked up another turret for themselves, but they're still even on gold with OMG. They're going to take another dragon for themselves, so.
That should be, what, their second Ocean Drake?
Yep, second Ocean Dragon. They've got a Cloud Dragon as well. The next dragon that's going to be spawning up seems like it's going to be another Ocean Dragon.
Wow, back-to-back spawns, so we have the opportunity to look for all 3 again. Out of 5 dragon spawns, the chance of getting 3 of the same type is about 37%. But finally, OMG coming alive here. We talked about this. What are the adjustments that you make from Game 1 to Game 2? I think it's to take a 5v5 comp. We know that Team WE have no problem playing a very slow-paced game. So just meet them late game in that 5v5 and take the free farm lanes.
I think scary thing for me, though, is it's still dead even. WE... 41,000 gold to 41,000 gold of OMG as well. It's a little bit scary that OMG, you know, they've been playing these team fights, they've been taking more structures, but they're still behind, or still even, so to speak.
But you also have to think about what are the win conditions for these teams in a team fight. So you have great pick potential as well as engage potential for Team WE with the Twisted Fate and the Maokai. But Lucian, you know, choosing to go for this more Korean earlier power spike build, it's not going to have the same late game potential and damage that the traditional AD carry build will go. Especially when you look across and compare to the likes of Jhin, who's going to do absurd amounts of damage into that late game. So it's kind of like OMG weighted their power early in kind of Lissandra's hands, and then Jhin and Kindred will take over. But they'll still have that backline threat of Echo and Lissandra, and I don't see the same flexibility out of Team WE's comp. Yes, they can still make those crazy, amazing picks. Twisted Fate can always backdoor and play the side lanes, but it's not as clear-cut.
Have to see what they're going to be doing in the future. As we take a look at the items really quickly, Lich Bane has been completed by that Twisted Fate, as well as his Abyssal Scepter, looking towards his Zhonya's Hourglass next. You did mention Lucian already picked up the Yoma's Ghostblade Black Cleaver build, now has a Zeal component as well picked up, so looking for his first Zeal item.
And a lot of the strength for Team WE is actually in the back pocket. That was cute.
Siang, hello. Welcome back to Bottom Lane.
It is actually in the back pocket of Condi here as the
Ultimate's
teleport's
coming
done.
out. Teleport's coming as well. Cool. He's going to pop the ultimate onto himself, try and keep himself alive there. The Bard also only locks that 957. This is looking good for TW so far. The Lair of Spy comes out. Cool. He's going to go into his Zhonya's Hourglass there. Zero takes a brunt of the damage, but they take down Cool first. Into the backlines. Lucian trying to dash in and out. Siang doesn't have his ultimate available to keep himself alive, but there goes Mystic straight into the front lines. Takes so much damage for it though. And see the backline, Sia is going to get taken down. They're going to try and jump on top of the Twisted Fate. Pops out a blue card, gets a bit of damage down, but here's the Cursicle. Gets 1 on the Connie, gets 2. The third will hit Sia. The third one is going to finally hit 0 there. Zhonya's might not keep him alive as the Bard will come back in. OMG trying to turn this one back around. Jhin picks up another kill for himself with a Death Fire Touch. And only Mystic left alive for Team WE.
And it's effectively 2 versus 1 right now as Mystic entirely has to evacuate the area. So in the end, OMG take the team fight as well as the objective, and let's get a replay of that because that was a pretty chaotic fight. First thing to look at is how the Bard ultimate locks everyone up, as well as the Kindred ultimate comes out actually really early in this fight. World 6 is about to use it on the back half of this, and he's only really saving Cool, who's on the very edge of it with the Zhonya's Hourglass, whereas it could have been used a lot more effectively. Mystic then kind of comes in on the second win, obliterates people. He's going to get aggressive flash forward here, immediately get punished by World 6, who then gets locked up by a gold card, and finally goes down with 957 being pulled into tower aggro with him. So just a very chaotic and very scrappy fight, and it's really the 280 carries that shine.
So this is with the Curticle coming out there. That last tag onto Sia, you know, took it down low enough. Connie eventually dies to the Death Fire Touch coming out for the W, the Deadly Flourish. The Mystic just sits there and watches the rest of the team got obliterated in that fight.
Rek'Sai walking onto the trap.
Yep.
Check out these damage.
Jin did a lot of work in that team fight.
And that's only going to go up, whereas again, Lucian sacrificing a little bit of that by not going a traditional late game AD carry build.
The big thing for TWE as well is they're not going to find a fight like that anytime soon, because that was Sion without his ultimate. He used it to get down to the bottom lane. Immediately, fight was started by TWE, even without a major ultimate. OMG still able to pull ahead after some time. But still anyone's game. 2,000 gold separates these two teams as OMG are leading 3 turrets to 1. 3 dragons to none and 7 to 4 in terms of kills at the moment. Looking to try and take down the mid lane inner turret.
OMG have a lot more passive control over the map as well as the monster objectives. Engagement. Can't quite get it.
They do take down the turret one more time. So now 3,000 gold lead for OMG here. Sia able to dodge out the legendary flourish. Also, they want to see if they can start out a team fight here. Sion's going to take up a lot of the damage coming out from that Twist of Fate. A minute till Dragon spawns too. Initiation might come in from Cool here. There's the Tempered Fate. Locks down 3 members there. OMG definitely looking to fight. The door's been put up by Zero, soaking up so much damage here. But Sion, he's back into the backlines 5. He's the first to go down. But Zero going to get popped as well by the Jin. Destiny's coming to the backlines. Cool, he's been locked out. Gets taken down as well. Sonya's popped by the Twist of Fate. Jin's trying to stay alive. But Team WE somehow pick up this team fight. They get 4 kills here with only Kindred left up alive.
Much better team fight this time around from Team WE. Mystic comes up huge. So, like you said, Zero is absorbing all of this damage, but check out Lucian in the side. Starts out great. Have the Tempered Fate, but no one on OMG is able to connect with it or get back onto them. Now check out where this culling comes across. Just ripping through so many members of OMG. That's 2 members that Mystic alone is taking off. And then the Destiny, that's what I'm looking for. Destiny coming back in janitorial duty at this point. They're just trapped in this tiny little choke point and getting ripped alive.
Certainly weren't. TWE immediately one more team fight. That's all it takes. Swing the game wide open one more time for themselves. Let's see what they can take off of this. They're going to try and take that Ocean Dragon for themselves. On top of that, they close out the gold gap that they were previously facing. And now only 1,000 gold behind OMG. The next Dragon to spawn will be the Elder Drake. So an Ocean Dragon for TWE, 2 for OMG, and a single Cloud Dragon for them as well.
Yeah, denying that 3rd Ocean Drake is going to be pretty big, but I'm just so impressed that Team W were able to win that team fight, especially in a choke point. Again, you expect with a composition like OMG that they'd be able to do that better, but not able to follow up on the Tempered Fate as the Baron is actually being started.
Has been started by OMG. They get it down to about 3/4 of its health. They decide to back off immediately. No, not going to risk it anytime soon against TWE.
Likewise, you also have the Destiny available, so hard to sneak objectives like that when you have Rek'Sai, Twisted Fate tandem. So much vision control. Weird vision control.
Definitely weird.
Bless you.
Thank you.
It's all good.
Well, yeah,
OMG now looking to siege here using the classic tested strategy of Glacial Path at tower.
Parallel convergence behind that.
Ooh.
But here's the teleport. 9/7 wants to start something. Zero misses everybody with his ultimate. The tree's going to come in here, puts down a sapling. Pops his ultimate, going to reduce some of the damage here to taking the fight slow. Mystic uses his Yomish, trying to get some distance there, but nice work from OMG, I believe. They're able to back off and, you know, waste a lot of crucial ultimates there.
Wasting a lot of crucial cooldowns, more importantly. Having that TP done on 9/7 is the big thing. And return to sieging with the wave.
This tower already down to about half itself. There comes the curtain call here, trying to start off a fight. It seems tower's going to take it down incredibly low, but it's not down just yet. That's a major ultimate for Jin down, so TWE might be a little bit happy. A quarter of this tower's health is all that remains.
Again, we're into a situation where Team WE just need to pull the trigger. It didn't work on the teleport, so good disengage from OMG, but they may be overstaying their welcome here, not having that Jin ult.
Taking it very patiently. Now it's an ARAM up in the top lane. Deja vu almost.
And they finally decide not to try for it. No, it's kind of just cute what they do. Again, approach a tower, parallel convergence behind it for zoning. Glacial Path on top of it to threaten Lissandra connecting, and then SMLZ just steps forward and just starts chipping away slowly.
See the gold swing for the entirety of this game. It was in WE's favor. Swung back OMG now. It's slowly declining, going back towards Team WE's favor. They're almost dead even one more time. Only about 500 gold separates these two teams. It's really the Dragons that are the huge contestant point at the moment. 3-1. So an Elder Drake not that great for Team WE, but if OMG pick it up, it's going to be devastating.
Again, it's onus on Team WE to deny it rather than to prioritize. Likewise, the combat stats for 90 seconds are still a nice thing to have. No one will say no to free damage. Baron
is up and has been up for the past 15 minutes as well, so it's possible we can see a team try and prioritize for that as well. WE, though, they've been looking really good in these 5-on-5 team fights so far.
It's really hard for OMG to try to take a sneaky dragon or even to set up a trap there. Again, the fact that Team WE have control of Rek'Sai with her Tremor Sense as well as Twisted Fate's Destiny, so I don't blame them for not tunneling hard on that objective.
Now they're moving in towards the bottom lane inner turret, seeing if OMG can put on their ARAM show one more time here.
It's all random, all bot. It's not even ARAM.
Gonna see what they can do right here now. So look at this. 9.7, he wants to go in. Zero's gonna try and follow up with the initiation. Glacial 2 be put on top of Lissandra there. There's the Layer Sight being put out very early coming from the Kindred here. OMG, they're looking to have to retreat here as 9.7's taken down Cool. They're looking for more. 5-speed locked down. He's gonna get taken down. OMG are running for the heals and the Destiny comes out as well. SMLZ tried to kite backwards, but that's a double kill for the Lucian. The Glacial Tap is not gonna come out from the Braum there, but they still pick up 3 kills. Curtain Call though, looking for Misty. He hits one. Condy Body blocks the second. The Team Justice done in the third. The fourth one's not going to connect. Deadly Flourish not going to be enough, but low health bars at WE. They're trying to run away.
Xian can still continue to chase this, though. Now he can't. Now that he's tagged with the slow, but the gold card was about to expire in SMLZ. Ooh, okay.
Big team fight for TWE, though. They pick up 3 kills ahead of OMG.
And like you said, these Kindred ultimates, the Lamb's Respite not used as optimally as they need to, but it's really the SMLZ versus Mystic show. And the primary difference is that it's so much easier for Lucian to utilize his ultimate over the course of a team fight than it is for Jhin. That's 2 times back-to-back that we've seen the curtain call come out as a chasing maneuver.
We see the damage dealt during that team fight as well. Jhin, so much damage coming out from him, but just nobody getting taken down.
His front line's completely dead, and he's ready to fight. So good positioning. Again, it comes down to this issue that Lucian's able to put out so much more damage during the fight, and SMLZ is kind of, he's either has to put it out before, like have the poke laid down, or he's got his chasing execution. And unfortunately, just really unlucky draws of not being able to execute to finish out all these blinking health bars. So these fights are very close in both instances.
Saving grace, again, you could say, is the fact that it's still dead even in gold. So 61,500 gold each for both these teams. 4 turrets to 1 in favor of OMG, which means if WE find a good team fight where some of their members are not low and they can actually contest Jhin once his ultimate is down, they're going to be able to take so many standing objectives and just boost up that gold deficit.
OMG just need to create a front line for SMLZ and to stay alive long enough for this guy. Obviously, he's outputting the damage, but he's so much healthier than anyone else on his team.
Certainly is. Taking a look at his items really quickly. He's got his Infinity Edge, also has the SS3 with the Rapid Fire Cannon, has picked up Lord Dominic's Regards, and also the Cleanse, the QSS coming out. Take a look at the side of Lucian. He's got 5 items picked up already. Bloodthirster, as well the Phantom Dancer to add to the Yoma's Ghostway Black Cleaver build. As Sia and Xiang just going to trade it back and forth up in the top lane. Speaking of Sia, he's got his Zhonya's Hourglass now, the Void Staff, as well as a nearly large rod. So almost 6 items onto this Twisted Fate, sorry.
He's, I mean, the most important thing is that he can A, pick successfully, pull a Messiah by starting a team fight with an Hourglass, or he's got side lane, backdoor threat pressure, as long as he has a creep wave.
Their front line for TWE look really strong at the moment. You can see the likes of Rek'Sai has that random wins, also the Dead Man's Plate and the Spectre Skull.
But you also have a lot of pseudo-tankiness on the side of OMG. So yeah, you have just like the Cinderhulk Rek'Sai build as well as the big frontline Maokai. But Echo's his ability to reposition his health bar with his ultimate, Kindred with the Lamb's Respite, Cool with Stania's Hourglass as well as Frozen Tomb. You still have a lot of tankiness and survivability there. It's just not being utilized as cleanly as it could be in these team fights.
OMG really want this Elder Dragon. They're trying to take it down. It's already at half its health. Nobody from the side of TWE is here to react to this. Destiny's been popped here. They know what they're doing. WE going to rush towards the Baron. Elder Dragon actually resets here. That might give them a little bit more time to try and take down this Baron. They're on top of it, looking to try and take it down. That's at half health already. They're just going to trade these major objectives.
That's going to be 2 Ocean Drakes as well as a Cloud Drake being augmented for Team OMG, and then the 90-second battle stats off of the Elder Dragon versus the Baroned up creeps.
But OMG are going to be able to push down for the bottom lane inner turret as well, taking it down with relative ease.
I think the Observer is showing us which dragons are being augmented. Thank you, Observer.
Thank you.
At this point, though, I'm actually going to go ahead and say that this is worthwhile to Team WE as long as they don't run head first into OMG.
Yep.
Just wait out the buff. Baron buff also got fine-tuned, where it got 30 seconds extra on its duration. Should be enough to slow down OMG, especially because you're not also facing across from any Infernal Drakes or Mountain Drakes.
Still 3 dragons buffing up the Elder Dragon. Something you don't want to underestimate when you fight up against OMG.
It's their big region, so you have to think that they have 3.5 Ocean Drakes now on.
Yep.
And we've now gone into Xie trying to create another split pushing point. As long as Team WE cannot dive over this. If it comes down to giving up this inhib, they just need to let it go. Because if they die here, that could mean the end of the game.
Certainly could, especially with the Dragon up members on the team. They're going to have to really rely on the Baron buff to hold out and last longer.
Okay, but this mentality of pulling off Xie as opposed to continuing to allow him to split push means that they want to fight. So the mentality is if OMG see that Twisted Fate's continuing to push, then just give away the tower for free if they threaten a dive, because it's not worth facing a 5v4 and losing a game possibly. Because Team WE pulled over Xie, though, it means that they actually think that they can fight this, that they can stall them out long enough.
Gold is still dead even between these two teams. 70,000 gold apiece here. It's just going to come down to one final team fight, it feels, and if that's the case, TW might be a little bit confident with that.
Well, they've definitely been winning the last few team fights, so I would say yes.
Big thing as well is that TW, they only have 2 turrets to 6 of OMG, so if they pick up that fight, they've got a lot of structures they've got to eventually take down here.
This is such a classic Team WE game.
just spiking back and forth like, oh.
Just a very... What are they good at? They're good at allocating the proper resources to where they need to go. Saying this guy is behind, we need to get him back in line, and then stalling out the game long enough. They're very good at defensively stalling out games.
And I like this from TW as well, using the Baron buff. Now they know the Elder Dragon is no longer active, push down a lane.
OMG are a very reactive team. And when you have, we saw this, when Team WE choose not to do anything, OMG are not very good at being a proactive team. They will just continue to also not do anything. But when you're playing Team WE's game, guess what? One of these teams came second. The other one faced into promotion.
Well, let's see what Team WE are going to do now as they're trying to push out this wave. Door comes up from 0. Temper Fate actually coming down, trying to lock down Misty. He's not going to get caught up. The Claw is going to come out from Lissandra as well. Not going to follow, but that's a big ultimate down from Bud.
Likewise, Xie on the hunt here, looking for lone towers and free creep waves.
Immediately matched up by Cool here. So once again, still very quiet. We're 42 minutes into this game. Just neither team really wants to pull the trigger just yet.
It's not neither team. It's literally the pace of this game has been entirely dictated by Team WE, and they are playing a Team WE game.
It's like Team WE is like, okay, OMG, you can come siege us, and then we fight you. If you don't siege us, we're not going to fight you.
It's like that awkward moment when you hold open a door for someone who's like 15 meters away. And
you have to wait there smiling, hello, take your time.
Yep. That's OMG. They're holding the door awkwardly, and they're waiting for Team WE, and WE's like, no, it's cool.
It's all right, I can get it. Mystic, they're going to be really happy with farming up all these minions down in the bottom lane. Has his own quick Silver Sash now, looking to try and pick up his Mercurial Scimitar. It's already been picked up by SMLZ. He's at 6 items already.
Scimitar?
6 items is also online for Sia as well. He has his Rabadon's Death Cap as well as the Void Staff now on that Twisted Fate. He's going to pack a punch. Cool still waiting on his final item here. Condi also technically at 6 items if you count the Sightstone.
Everyone's got everything, Fish.
They've all got everything. They're ready for one final fight.
We've seen a 43-minute game with, I think, 2 Frozen Tombs in it. People are always like, LPL, it's so aggressive. Everyone fights all the time.
You watch this game.
It's just so weird. OMG, they were the tower diving team.
They were the freight
Bash
trains.
Brothers. The 3v3, the 5v5.
Not this game. They're playing as Team WE to like settle down. Look, we do things civilized in these games.
SMLZ and Mystic are just very similar AD carries, especially in how they're treated. So Team W, it makes a little bit of sense because if you think back to their Wei Xiao days, obviously Wei Xiao was their captain and shot caller, and so they wouldn't fight unless the AD carry was ready to fight. And historically, it's always been kind of a 3-item power spike. So back when Team WE were World Elite, I'm waiting for it, but it's never going to happen.
Continue for
They would just kick their AD carry out into a side lane, and Wei Xiao would be like, we fight them at 35 minutes. Wait till I have items. And so they would just kind of dance around the map, install everything out until their AD carry was ready and powerful. He'd rock up, and then they just win the game off of team fights.
He's got items.
World Elite used to do it. But it's just so funny that Team WE, with a completely different roster, have kind of turned into the same thing. Especially when Mystic plays Ezreal, which he's a phenomenal Ezreal player, but it's just this cute thing where, oh, I fell behind in lane. I'm 80 CS down. It's totally cool, guys. I'll just get kicked out into the
side lane,
farm it up. 45-minute victory.
I mean, what else could he buy, though? He's got 4 items. Why does he need to farm anymore? Give it over to Condi or give it over to 957 now. They need it more.
I mean, at this point, you're just making sure, because it comes down to a single team fight, that you get the perfect team fight. They have a lot of pick potential. Again, it's not as punishing late game when you aren't able to place as many wards. Simply because there's no available slots in the majority of your team, because you have Rek'Sai and Twisted Fate, so a little bit of an advantage there for Team WE, but it's still trying to orchestrate finding these picks.
We'll have to see if they can find any of those now, because we're approaching 46 minutes into the game. Baron's actually coming up the next 20 seconds.
They even smartly did this beautiful thing where they retained 2 trinkets as opposed to just 1. So Xiong still has his trinket, but you still have it on Mystic as well as 957, and you're able to do that. Like an AD carry who doesn't have blue trinket? What? Well, again, you have Destiny, you have Tremor Sense. You don't need that to check Baron, especially not from red side.
Speaking of Rek'Sai, he's actually sold that side stone and picked up a Thorn Mail for himself, so he's done. He's got all these items.
He's also not warding.
That's okay.
At 46 minutes when it's a single team fight?
Yeah, just use Destiny. You said it yourself. Sia's like, pop! Oh, we can see everyone. No need wards anymore. That was an interesting claw interaction. Going through all the minions there. You know, we've seen so many claws come up from him, but nothing going down. But here comes a Tempered Fate here. It's going on to 957, though. Not the person he wanted to go on to. Destiny has been popped already, though. Now Team WE looking to see if they can start a fight here. Xiong going to take a little bit of damage. The claw comes in one more time, decides not to take it, and, you know, gentleman's handshake, back off.
Still holding the door.
Yep. Hello, it's okay. Take your time.
Yeah, and it was really just because, like you said, the Tempered Fate hit the least likely target.
But cool now. He's been caught out here. Has to pop his Zodia's Hourglass. Probably have to use the ultimate on himself as well. He's not going to get stunned up, though. Mystic now in the back lines, occupied by Sia. Has to dash left and right. Team WE, though, they're losing their front line. Condi's going down. 957 should be getting out shortly as well. There's the ultimate coming in from the Kindred. As now Sia going to dash it forward. 957, he should be going down. Nice twisted and fast to keep himself alive there. They only lose Condi, but this is Baron, and that's 3 Ocean Dragons. They're just going to keep regenerating health.
Great escape from 957, but more importantly, OMG win the team fight. And like you said, they're on the Dragon. They have the Ocean Drakes. Excuse me, they're on the Baron. They have the Ocean Drakes, and this is going to be a free epic monster for OMG.
Kindred picks up that one. Magical Journey comes out here. They're looking for the nice ultimate coming in from Bard there. They're able to lock down Twisted Fate. Cool comes here, but they fancy a fight here. Cool gets taken down. Sia gets the kill there. They're going to continue. 957, he's full health. Destiny into the backlines. Here comes Twisted Fate, but it's going to be him getting taken down by SMLZ. He's going down to Mystic here. They're chasing onto Condi. He's got no ultimate. Here comes a relentless pursuit from the pollution. Using the skim itself for more movement speed. Takes him down. They get the A's. Team WE fight a 4-on-5 against OMG.
Are you kidding me? Cool died without using his ultimate.
He's gone. He didn't use it all game. He removed that button. This should be game.
Look at the death timers. They're going to be able to end this. This is a Twisted Fate with a blue card at 6 items. They have a creep wave behind them.
This is game.
OMG just got Baron, didn't use Frozen Tomb, died, and lost the game.
Well, it's nothing too different because Frozen 2 was only used about twice in that entire match there. But after a long 15-minute battle between OMG and Team WE pull it off after a 4-on-5 team fight. They keep their dreams and pick up the 2-0 win against OMG.
In classic Team WE fashion, this is the most... If you've never seen a Team WE game before, it's exactly like this every single time. It's just these ridiculous, drawn-out games where they win these miraculous team fights. Cool didn't ult anyone.
Couldn't have been scripted better. Cool was not cold enough for the Frozen Tomb. And that is Team WE picking up the victory there. But what a massive fight from them. It almost looked like Certain Dune, you know. Tempered Fate landed on Twisted Fate. Claw came out. He was certainly dead. Like, that was it. But no.
Well-deserved bow off of this Team WE squad and continuing to solidify themselves as the second place in their group. See if things start to adjust.
You're just dumbfounded by that game?
I'm tilted.
Are you okay, Frosky?
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, I hope you're okay there, because that was a massive game for Team WE there. I mean, that was just very quiet, very back and forth between these two teams, and that one fight looked like OMG, you know, they're going to take the Baron, going to push for objectives, but that just came down to one ability from Cool, and that pretty much costed them the game, it feels.
It feels like both teams are constantly saying in every game, don't worry, we have the late game. Like, that's the only way that I can think about it, because you had double TP on OMG's composition, you had the Destiny from Team WE, and just no one willing to make a play around the map, giving so much respect to each other, or maybe not enough confidence, or just saying, you know, let's just farm it up. If we have the late game, it's fine anyway. So, I don't know.
Well, it didn't really look like either of those teams had the late game, because there was a couple of team fights where we saw how they were just fighting back and forth, but you know, they'd poke each other out, move back. There was ARAM top, ARAM bottom.
That is something that could be taken away from this game, is the superior team fighting out of Team WE. Much better target priority, much better setting up their CC correctly, hitting the right people, standing in the right positions. Mystic in particular looked phenomenal on Lucian, so aggressive, stepping forward. SMLZ is always a treat to watch on his Jhin play, but unfortunately he does not have the same front line and the same control from his team that Mystic is getting from the likes of Condi and 957.
You know, it almost felt like Team WE, they also reacted quite nicely to how OMG were playing that matchup, because we saw how OMG, you know, tried to siege the top lane turret, tried to siege the bottom lane turret. Team W like, yeah, sure, we'll let you do just that. We'll just wait and wait and wait. They're very patient, it feels, in that game.
Yeah, and that's what it was. Even in the smaller team fights, like, you would see the Kindred ultimate go down, and Team W were so good at just consistently waiting that one out, and suddenly you'd see like the Lucian ultimate on the very back half of it, because obviously he doesn't want to burn that into the Kindred ult, but just making sure that there's never a point where the Kindred ult is being used to counter any of that damage output.
Well, let's take a look at the results for today. In the first match, it was LPL, the LPL team, taking down LGD in a 2-0. Very quick victory for them. In the second match of the night, it was RNG taking on Vici, where we saw a 2-0 going to RNG. They still look very dominant coming into the LPL here. And the final match of the night, it was another 2-0, but a very long 2-0 coming in from Team WE and OMG there. It was a gruesome second game between these two teams, all the way down to 50 minutes to one. Two final team fights.
It is brutal to lose like that too, especially after taking a team fight and a Baron, and then to lose the game in one single mistake. So
they were just all stunned looking at their screens, but gives us some time to look at the standings for Group B. IMA sitting at the top of the table with 2 wins here. They've got, and just right behind them is RNG with 2 wins as well, but they did drop a single game.
Yeah, it's the difference between the 2-0s versus the 2-1 that RNG had against Team WE. And of course, following, it's going to be Team WE and Vici, and then LGD and OMG bringing up the rear.
And that sums up Group B at the moment. You know, IMA, they look at the top right now. You think that Team WE, they're going to be the second place team here. They've only dropped against RNG. You know, after that match, they still look great. Still look like Team WE. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, the bigger question is kind of where IMA really fit in the scheme of things. Obviously, we've only seen them face kind of the bottom 2 teams, OMG and LGD sitting down there. So, you know, what will IMA look like against the likes of Team WE? Will they be proactive enough in the early game where Team WE seem to falter and get an advantage there to open it up? Or are they going to be a 4th or possibly even 3rd place team in their group? And then what do they look like when you then pull in Group A? Yes, Group A.
You know, big thing for me that stands out is the fact that Team W, they were able to pick up a win against RNG as well during their first match. They picked up 1 game, their best of 3 series. Looked good there too. Coming into this match against OMG, still looked great. So, looking good for now. But looking at the bottom half of the table, Vici, their first game back, not looking very promising at all. It looks a little bit similar to Split 1 for Group B here.
I mean, this is what we kind of expected from the LPL. The top-tier teams seem to be getting a much farther ahead, like head and shoulders from kind of the middle of the pack. But the middle of the pack is quite thick. It doesn't seem like we have a very clear-cut, this is the worst team in the LPL. These are kind of the bottom-tier teams in the LPL. Because even the likes of GT are really surprising.
Yeah, it certainly does. But, yep, Group B, been very good. Today's game's been crazy as well. I mean, we saw RNG clinical, Team W clinical here. What has been surprising so far? First week back in the LPL, we've seen all the teams play so far. Anything that's been standing out? Anything that's really surprising so far?
I think GT and IMA are kind of the most surprising things. People were really unsure. I mean, like, we had our own internal power rankings of where we're trying to match up all the teams, and it was vastly different there, so trying to see how these rosters would stack up. Again, we don't really have the sample size. They haven't faced any of the elite teams to really say so, but it's definitely a good sign if you become fans of these teams. Obviously, still very new game talents, and IMA, they're exciting to watch. They're doing well for their first week, so two teams that you definitely want to look at is... Let's look back at Team WE, and MVP is actually going to 957, and I agree, his team fighting was so on point, and that was the big difference for me between Mystic and SMLZ's performance, is that Mystic has this guy standing in front of him, and SMLZ just didn't have the same support.
He played phenomenally on that Maokai. Hopefully you get to see a couple of his highlights as well. So as we jump back into that game for Team WE, you can see here we actually have all their player cams here as well. Frosco, take us through this replay, because this is the 4-on-5 fight.
I don't actually remember it because that game was so long.
This is when Cool couldn't use his ultimate there.
This was the last fight of the game. Yeah, so like you said, Tempered Fate hits out Xie early. Cool is unable to connect on the Frozen Tomb. You can see that Lissandra still has that ultimate available to him. And with that down, Team WE just collapse on OMG and rip them apart.
Mystic was just ready for this. He knew Siyoung's ultimate was down there. And they were just very calm, very collected. You saw all their player cams there. They were a little bit excited when they picked up the kills, but very calm, very collected. Just like another day in the office with Team W, it almost felt.
Just slow-moving train, and it just keeps going.
The slow mini train of Team W, slowly going there. But, able to pick up the win there. Was there anything else that stood out for them? Because this is what we expected from the team. Nothing much changed. OMG, a little bit disappointing. They don't really look like their old selves. Is there anything from this matchup that we could pick out from these two teams?
I think we called it unbaked cookies. We used that type of mentality. So Team WE, OMG, obviously long-standing organizations, pillars, if you will, of the LPL. They've been around forever, completely reinventing themselves when it came to 2015. And unfortunately for OMG, still a little bit half-baked, not quite there, really trying to figure themselves out. Obviously, they have a roster that they've been rotating through quite frequently. 2 different mid laners. They picked up a couple different junglers, World 6 and Chuedre. We'll see if maybe Chuedre gets some time, or if World 6 is going to be the development that they go with. Whereas on the other side, Team WE they set out to kind of remake World Elite. Obviously, they rebranded, and it's just been so much more successful. And it's nice to see it finally pay off, that they've solidified themselves back into the top end of the LPL.
Well, let's see if that's the way that the cookie crumbles. As that's all from us this week on behalf of myself, Frosco, and Atlas Sport, and Rusty. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week for more LPL action.